So search the archives is pretty easy to use. I mean, using the Polish and the German alphabet probably would be a good idea with it, but the search engine is smart enough to pick up on it, even if I don't have the proper, the proper accent mark for it. So especially for Gdansk, it needs an accent on the end, but should be able to find us some good Pomeranian records for just with that. So while we're waiting for it to load, it has a lot of nifty features to it right here. You can filter the results right here. The one that we're most interested in are vital records and civil registers. So you can filter it out like that. And then once again, here's the box right here that says only scans right there. So I can refine our search to say that I only want stuff that has been scanned and that I can actually access online. They have plans, I believe, to turn this into an indexed site. Because like if you click on one of these entries here, let me make it so that we only see the vital records and civil registers from Gdansk. They have it so there's a spot for like indices, but there's currently none of them. So something to think about in the future. So it looks like they don't have any with just the scans, but if we uncheck it, we'll be able to find some vital records from Gdansk that you can see right here that it's their goal to digitize their holdings. One consideration to keep in mind is that search the archives is for the Polish National Archives, and AKA that means civil authorities. So there are really only civil record keeping in Poland took off in the early 1800s. So sometimes you find stuff from the 1700s as far as like vital records go, but not all of the time. So you can see right here, Gdansk, Community Gdansk, here, civil record, death records. So if I would click on that, it has not been digitized, but if it had been, that would be one of the tabs right here. You can click right here and it would show in a little tab saying, to look at the images and all that great stuff. So search the archives, good way to access the Polish archival system. Some people get really into maps, and I really like this website right here, Kartenmeister. That Kartenmeister allows you to look at all of the massive border changes that have happened in this part of the world for the past several hundred years, and taking a look at, we've got Pomeranian records right in here that oftentimes it can be confusing because places would have names in Polish and they would have names in German. Sometimes they were similar, sometimes they were totally different. Like one place I researched was Pomeranian in Polish, and it was Freitagsheim in German. So, I mean, that is completely different from each other. So as you can see, you can type in what you know about it, and then it will give some information about it. So how about, let's take a look at the town of Stettin that we've got right here. Stettin was a major center in Pomerania, and you can see all this great information that it gives about it, looking at where it was in Germany, where it is today, what province it's in, and looking even at population figures right here. So Kartenmeister is a good source of information, especially from the geography standpoint. One more website that I would like to share with you guys is taking a look at census records. A lot of people ask me about census records, and I'll say that absolutely census records were kept in this part of the world, but not all of them have survived to this day. Now, Prussians have that excellent record system, that Germanic style of nice straight lines, linear columns, and having things in order. Well, one place that you can find ancestors is in the West Prussian land register of 1772 to 1773. That this was taken at the very first partition of Poland, and it shows a lot of locations in West Prussia right here that are separated by the surname and the name of the head of the household. So looking at these records right here, we could take a look at B for my Borschmann ancestry here in West Prussia right here. If you scroll through it, you can see right here that it gives the name of the head of the household. It gives the name of the village they lived in. It also gives the name of the district they were in, along with some information. So This is just an index of it. The actual records are kept by the Russian-German Genealogical Society in North Dakota. It's the name of it is Germans from Russia to America, like Germans to America Genealogical Society. All you have to do is Google them and send them an email. And for a small fee, they'll be able to send you a copy of the actual record for it. So it has some interesting information on it. Like right here, you can see this man right here, Martin Borschmann. It gives 3 different entries for him, but looking at the different properties he had, he was certainly the exception rather than the norm. You could see that most people would just have like 1 entry, that kind of thing, although some people owned multiple properties. So the transcriptions on this are pretty good, as well as the spellings in the original records. The actual records give a lot more information. Not only does it give like tax information that they paid, it also lists the number of people in their household. You would think that it would be a standard form across all of West Prussia, but I've seen several different variations of it. Like one would say children, like unter and über, like the age of 12, that kind of thing. So depending upon how good your German is, you'll be able to get a lot out of those records. And just, let me flip back. Let me just use the back button right here. So you find this throughout the province of Prussia. In fact, even in Poznan region in southern Prussia is what they called it. These would be the records from Poznan if you scroll down right there. The way you access it is just type in 1772, 1773 West Prussian land census, and that'll pop up for you. And there was another census taken, 1793 to 1794, and this covers many different households and areas throughout the area of Prussia. Again, this is mostly the southern part of Prussia, but you might be able to find some good Pomeranian records in this as well. Same thing, 1793, 1794. The problem with these records is that they are only registered in villages of the right here, it says right here, the lands provide the name of head of household of nobility villages, that they don't include any towns or villages that were owned by the German crown. So that's kind of a drawback, that it's only scattered information here and there for you. So I think that brings us to the end of our webinar. So thank you very much for being here today. Hope you got something out of it. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. My name is Jason Kruski. Just type my name into Google. My website pops up, and you can send me a message that way. The second edition of my Polish-American genealogy book was just released about 2 weeks ago, actually. It is on Amazon right now. It's newly updated with digital resources. I had to get rid of ordering microfilm since you can't do that anymore. But thankfully for all of us, Indian Prairie Library is a family search affiliate library. So thank you very much, Mary Kreckelberg, for making that happen. So thank you very much for having me here today, and best wishes in the search. Goodbye, everyone.